Your reaction to this latest development, Diddy's response, I was surprised in a way that he would even respond. Didn't know what he would say. Your take on it.
Yeah, I was surprised as well to see him post a video. This is a man that, was claiming complete innocence, claiming the allegations were false. Now turns around, there's video out there and says, yeah, actually, I did this one. And notice he claims he was at rock bottom in 2016 as an excuse for this. Let's keep in mind here, Diddy was 46 years old in 2016. He was on the top of the Forbes list. He was on the Bad Boy Reunion press tour and all kinds of different tour runs. He was out and about. He was rebranding his name to Love. So it doesn't appear like rock bottom, and that can't really be an excuse for this. And so ultimately, it's just a shame that in 2024, after an era of Me Too, it took video evidence like this for people to finally come around and believe Cassie and her legitimate allegations. It's no longer allegations at this point. We're seeing firsthand this happened.
What do you think the fallout is going to be? And by that, I mean, obviously, there are legal consequences. He might not be charged in California with this. We know that there are other lawsuits. We know there's an ongoing investigation, possibly through the feds. But in terms of, when the allegations first came, a number of companies dropped him. He had to leave Revolt TV. After this video comes out and after his apology, where does Diddy land in the media and entertainment space?
Well, I don't imagine this apology is going to help him much, especially with the wave of criticism. And what's going to happen next is he's becoming the face of what is supposed to be and is going to be a long overdue reckoning in the hip hop genre with its own Me Too movement. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him, he is not the only man who's been accused of misconduct, violence against women, or mistreating people along his rise to an ascension. And so I think you're going to see a lot more come out on this. There's a lot more smoke for sure, a lot more accusations as we've seen, a lot more lawsuits are going to be coming. But as far as this, I think it's going to spark and continue a larger conversation within the genre around how we treat women and how we treat abusers within the culture itself. And this knee-jerk reaction within the culture to frame every woman accuser as a money grabber or opportunist. That's what a lot of people within the hip hop genre did when Cassie first made her claims. And that wasn't right back in November 2023. And certainly after seeing this video, not right now either.
That's a great point, because now I'm curious. One of the things that we've been looking for was how do people respond after the raids on Diddy's homes? How do people respond after the lawsuits? A number of celebrities remained quiet, didn't say anything. Legal point of view, I didn't know if they were being issued subpoenas in part of a federal investigation. They couldn't say anything. But after this, what are we seeing so far from the entertainment world? People's reactions. I know 50 Cent, who's had a feud with Diddy, has already spoken about this. But are we seeing reactions from other celebrities, other people in Diddy's orbit?
Yeah, we absolutely are. And some of them could appear a little bit maddening. Slim Thug, a Houston rapper, great example. He came out strongly in defense of Diddy originally when the Cassie accusations came across. And he made it a whole statement about how black men are being demonized and how it's unfair to constantly have these allegations against black men without proof. Well, now that there's proof, he put out a statement and said he's sorry. And he's apologizing. And you're seeing a lot of folks who came out to defend Diddy. They now have egg on their face because the video doesn't lie, the proof doesn't lie. And so the reaction across, too, you're seeing more and more people start to distance themselves from Diddy. And I expect you're going to see more of that in the coming weeks, as I'm sure more things are going to come out and the fallout will continue.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.